where she was. 2019. That's where we'll begin. '19 is when my spiral started. Was already an alcoholic by then, but I didn't want to admit it. I was going through a separation that I wasn't ready for. I spiraled pretty much out of control. I was heavy into alcohol and drugs, and I felt like I fell down a rabbit hole and was hitting every branch on the way down, and it just got darker and darker. And then I got pregnant in the worst version of myself. I made the decision to abort the child. It was a very difficult decision, having wanted a child for so long. I couldn't have at that point in my life. And then I believe it might have been a couple days later, the pandemic hit. And there, I spiraled even further and harder. My body was shaking so much that I had to drink in order to stop the shakes. And then I got to the point where I was vomiting blood. And so I told myself, all right, I'm gonna take one day off from drinking, just one. That's when the darkness got darker. I started hearing voices, and I remember running out of the apartment building I was staying at. And then I called my friend and I said, you're gonna think I'm crazy, but I'm hearing voices. And he told me to stay there. I'm gonna come get you. And was like, you look like you've seen a ghost. So he drove me to my mom's in Sacramento. Told my therapist, I'm like, I think I'm schizophrenic. And she said, Samantha, you are having severe alcohol withdrawals. She said, you need to drink in order to stay alive. At that point, the visual hallucinations started showing up. And now I was seeing monsters everywhere. Not only was I hearing monsters, I was seeing monsters. I was living a fucking nightmare. I was living in hell every day. And I was just completely exhausted. I think the best way to describe what I went through was in Stranger Things, the Upside Down. And she finally got back to me. She said she found a place that she can get me into. Yes.
This is the place?
Yes, this is the place. It's been a little over 2 years. April 30th was the day I showed up on this doorstep. Just shy of 2 weeks. Felt like an eternity. It was during the pandemic and we couldn't leave the house. So staying cooped up in this house for almost 2 weeks went crazy. But it was far better than being outside where I felt unsafe.
How does it feel being back today now?
Definitely a different vibe. I feel happy, feel accomplished, I feel alive.
Totally different mindset than
Yeah.
the last.
Definitely. So for the next 43 days, I would work on myself, getting to the whys, really getting to know me, really opening myself up without numbing myself with alcohol and drugs. And it was painful, but I needed it. So we went back to her apartment, and I remember sitting there in her one-bedroom, 700 and some odd square foot apartment. I remember sitting on her couch and crying. Like, what do I do now? Starting over seemed a task too big. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a job. It was still the pandemic. So I did the only thing I knew to do was work on myself. So from that point on, I would take any job that I could. from San Jose to Sacramento. And I would wake up in the morning and run 3 miles and work out every day, do art and paint and draw. And that's what my day consisted of. In and out, just working on myself, focusing on getting better. And then all of a sudden, I got a job at a shop. I was building a clientele. I had people who wanted me to do art for them. I started doing murals. People who were noticing I was getting better and doing better. And it's like I was running this marathon called life, and people were clapping and cheering me on along the way. And if I ever fell, they'd be there to pick me back up. It was the craziest thing. Fast forward to 2022, I compete in bikini competitions. I'm looking to go pro. I'm looking to put on an art show. I'm on the verge of doing something amazing and great with health and fitness, and I'm looking to further share my story. I am so thankful that the universe gave me this second chance. So any chance I get, I share my story because I don't want people to feel alone. I want to give people hope. I want to inspire. I want to motivate. I want to be that light when someone feels they're alone in their darkness, to feel like they're not alone. I want everyone to love themselves and to know they're worth it and to value themselves. I want to keep inspiring.
If I just sit back, relax
The significance of this bridge is people tend to come here when they feel hopeless, when they feel that there are no options, when they might lack self-love, self-worth. And I was there once. I was there a lot of times. And I like to come here and leave notes of hope for people who feel that, so they don't feel alone, so that maybe they can read my notes and feel that there is hope. There is someone out there listening. There's someone out there who's gone through the same struggles, who knows the same pain, and maybe hope that they can hold on for one more night.
Oh, that was perfect.
Yeah.